Working the live stream aspect of the pop out was a really, it was the biggest moment in hip hop and the biggest moment of this year, right? Just to see so many artists in unison out of LA, just knowing that it's rare to see all of those artists together. They're representing for their community, for their neighborhood, for the West Coast. To be able to be in this position that can allow for moments like that to be shared with the world is very powerful and very inspiring. It felt like a culture reset, right? It's something that I feel like we needed to see. And you see these artists that are young and emerging and hustling, and it's probably the biggest stage that they had ever been on. You have artists that are more established and artists who is one of the greatest in music, right? So to be able to have those moments in time and to be a part of bringing it to a larger audience, not just LA, but the whole rest of the world got to see that moment and what it represented. It represented unity and the power of when everyone comes together, what we're able to feel and set aside differences and, come together for a greater purpose. And I think that is a great representation for all other aspects in our lives. And so it's something that I think music needed to see, that hip hop needed to see, to be able to know the strength in numbers and camaraderie and community, to be able to actually impact and have change in so many different places and cities around not only the country, but around the world too. People didn't think they would ever see that sort of a moment in time. And it shows that if that's possible in that sort of an arena, what else is possible for the rest of the world to go ahead and unite and stand behind and put differences aside to be able to actually achieve something and to make a difference? Like, it just embodied something bigger than artists on stage together, right? There's a deeper level to it. And it was really inspiring. And I think that other artists and community leaders will go ahead and remember that and know what is possible and achievable because now we've seen it. A lot of times we don't know what we haven't seen. And that's why that moment was so pivotal, because now this new generation will be able to take that and know, oh, I remember Kendrick Lamar and all of the different artists on that stage come together. I know what's possible down the line in other avenues of life. Social responsibility is really just to my core, and being able to help the community. And when I see artists and talent who want to give back and make a difference, like I worked with Lil Durk. He came to us with his team to go ahead and say, hey, look, I want to create some sort of a pipeline for students as part of my Neighborhood Heroes Foundation program to attend Howard University. So when they came to me with that, that really struck a chord, because I know the importance of having programs such as Durk's foundation that he's created for young men and women to go ahead and have a future, especially when it comes to financial hardship, right? They came to me and I was like, how do I figure this out? Let me involve our public policy team. Let me go ahead and figure out what sort of contribution we can make and what exactly are we going to do. And he ended up having a concert during Howard Spring Fest that we went ahead and said, hey, look, the students will go ahead and learn what it's like to be on a college campus and have that experience. That's what Durk's team put together. And then I came on board and supported with that financial aspect. And this at the Spring Fest. And so Durk performed, the students came out, they received their check, and for me, those are things that make a difference, that kids remember, that really can either make or break the opportunities that they have available to them in the future. And so that responsibility for me, and what drives me, is like being able to have, one, a responsibility of culture, having responsibility of artists, having responsibility of community. We're in these roles to make a difference. And that is something that you have to stay focused on and not to steer from, because at some point, someone gave you an opportunity, someone believed in you. And when you're able to support others who also have a similar mission, that's when the greatness happens. And that's when that impact happens. At Amazon Music, I lead our rotation team. Our rotation team is the brand and the home for hip hop and R&B. And the reason why we felt like it was so important, there are a few folks prior to me that started the brand. Rochelle Balagan, she kicked off with starting rotation as far as the playlisting goes for rap rotation, R&B rotation. And we wanted it to extend beyond just the playlist world, because Amazon is such a big company, right? We have live streaming, we have merchandise, we have content, and there's so much opportunity. And we wanted to make sure that, and we still want to make sure that it's important artists are able to grow their career and their business in areas of opportunity that we have available. And so rotation is really the hub for Black culture. And being able to make sure that our decision making is based off of authenticity and having real intention and purpose behind why we work with artists for certain opportunities and what we say yes or no to, those things right there come down to purpose and intention, and how are we impacting culture? How are we impacting hip hop and R&B? And what are fans able to take away? What are these memorable moments? And so that's why we end up doing live streams for festivals like J. Cole. You know, he's one of the great rappers, and he is able to create a festival. And there's not many Black ownership in the festival world, or creating a community in North Carolina. And so when we look at being able to come on board with artists like Cole for Dreamville Festival, or to be able to present the moments with Kanye and Drake, you know, at the LA Coliseum, or to go ahead and live stream Kendrick in Paris, and to do the pop-out show, like, these are moments in time that we're able to share, and where technology and culture are able to work together to create an experience. And that is something that at Amazon Music, we're taking risks. We are trying to make sure that we're additive and supportive of culture, of what's already happening, and being able to connect the dots. That's what I would say about Amazon Music and culture. We're just kind of where, like, streaming and technology and, you know, the future of hip hop is going. I'm seeing a lot of just investment in merchandise and performing, and really just like looking backwards of what has been done before, to where there's a lot of artists who are getting inspiration from records from back in the day, still sampling, remixing, but it's just more prevalent more than ever, because we have things at our fingertips to do so quickly and instantly in the digital space. For Amazon Music, and what we're starting to create is allowing artists to go ahead and have their own merchandising business, to be able to live stream and to share on a global platform in ways that they haven't done before. It's really just like expanding an artist's vision for themselves. And I think that we have to continue to adopt what is happening before it actually ends up being like the trend. And we have started that from few years ago of just being in the live streaming and the merchandise business. We did some merchandising, tour merch for Doja Cat, with Meg Thee Stallion, with Peso Pluma. Like, we're just really just navigating into that space of merch and live streaming. Juice WRLD Day, to me, really was significant to the city of Chicago, but then also for this generation of fans and even artists. So many artists have looked up and been inspired by Juice, right? And just knowing the impact when Pete from Grade A gave me a call and was like, hey, we want to do Juice WRLD Day in celebration of his life. And it was around the anniversary of his death. Like, it just was so meaningful. And when I spoke about this before, like, being able to have purpose and intention in what it is that we end up doing, that's always at the core. And so just knowing that it was going to draw so many artists, whether they're from Chicago or they have been inspired by Juice, that meant something. And so just to have it be done in the arena, like, I flew out here to Chicago from LA for it and was really just like on the grounds with the team and seeing like Juice's family and the guys from Grade A on stage and how much it really meant. It just signified just like how impactful music is. The United Center was packed. It was filled with just like love and energy. And we ended up playing his album that had just released like for the first time, which was also special, to where it's like the whole entire arena in Chicago and the world, because we were live streaming it, was able to hear the music for the first time. We think about like the moments in culture that Amazon Music and the Rotation team that's bringing these cultural hip hop and R&B moments to the masses, like, that is why we do what we do, to be able to actually connect fans with their favorite artists and really just like remember those moments together. And, you know, Juice WRLD, I mean, he's still the top of the charts. His albums are still streaming. Like, I think he has like 2 of the top streaming albums. Like, I might have that wrong, but he literally is constantly being reminded of and inspired by, and people still want to hear from him. So for those who don't know who Grade A is, they are an independent record label, young businessmen of color. You have Bibby, you have Peter, you have G Money, and they have really just like forged their own community of talent and finding those artists. Like, it's so inspiring just to see how tapped in they are of recognizing stars from the very beginning. Even if an artist has one song out, it's literally like that's who it is. Or the song might not even be out. They might just be hearing the music for the first time, or the song was on SoundCloud somewhere and they picked it up. But to see like how much they have had an impact and how much the artists who are fans of the artists that they work with, it's like the inspiration there. I see it just from afar, and I've seen it in working with them, and they know exactly what they're doing. And it's so great to see how much of an impact that they're having on hip hop and culture. And they're young executives just doing their thing and what they know how to do. You know, at Amazon Music, we have our Rotation brand that is our home for hip hop and R&B. 5 years ago, this is actually the 5-year anniversary of the brand. And when I came to the company, there was young Black executives and who had created the actual brand itself. And they had intentions of making sure that Rotation was like a hub for Black culture, because Amazon is massive. And then there's Amazon Music as part of that too. And we have Twitch, and we have Wondery, and we have Audible, and we have fashion. There's so many different ways to be a part of Amazon. We have shipping and retail, right? And for rotation, we wanted to make sure that we had a hub where artists could come and learn how to grow your business and how to connect with your fans in a deeper level and a different level than just releasing music. And we kind of look at it as like, you know, you can become your own kind of small business owner in a certain right and then continue to grow with such a big company, right? For rotation, we really end up, we're all young executives. That's also something that's really inspiring, to be able to look around to the left and the right and be like, we're going to voice our opinions. We're going to go ahead and share our thoughts. We know what the culture wants. We know what the youth wants. And we're going to go ahead and figure out how to take a risk and how to make it happen. And we roll up our sleeves and we get those things done. And it's just really inspiring because, like, we try to make sure that we're always sticking to our authenticity. We're not forcing things. Sometimes people want to force a moment. So some of the moments that I've been a part of, from the Pop Out to Dreamville Festival to supporting Mary J. Blige's Strength of a Woman Festival for Mother's Day weekend in Atlanta, to working with Femme It Forward, to live stream for Women's History Month and showing up in Lamar Park for Juneteenth. Like, there's always intention and it's not forced, and it's always additive to culture and supportive of culture and not taking away from it. We're able to share those moments, especially in the live streaming business, of what it is that we've been doing for some years now. A lot of first moments for artists. And we work with not just the biggest artists, we work with young developing acts. We've done stuff with Coco Jones, with Kaylin For Real. We have worked with Young Blue. Like, I can keep naming so many, but at the same time, like, we really want to make sure that we're paying attention and being supportive. And all the places that you guys want to be at, that's where we want to be. And that's really what drives us. Like, we're also fans of hip hop. You know, we work in it, but we're like the super fans of, like, we live and breathe this. And so all the places that the fans want to be at, those are the same places that we also want to be at and show up for and to be able to be a part of, and also just find ways to make really dope shit happen. What's up, y'all? I'm Sierra Lever, and you're locked in to 24/7 HH.